didn't I want to ask him about the armor?
Oh, was Coon okay? Kuno,
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying.
What in my pennies?
The tear machine stands in your bottles clunk.
Got £2.80. £10. Right. Got anything that will give me nothing that gives me a boost to a land empire. But let's go have a word with the evening guys.
let me handle this.
The woman says the crowd in the mess hall before
You
turning
seem
to
a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
I'm gonna do my job, that's all. You're right, Lieutenant. She did seem friendlier sitting in my
Not
corner.
a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
Points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. Could this be the Miss Buford that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
What's your role in all this? You, Lizzie, Elizabeth, Miss Beaufort. I want to talk to you, not Titus. What are you going to do to me?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
You, Lizzie, Elizabeth, Miss Beaufort.
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardy.
Points at the tall man.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes, in the way she stands, in her face.
Amazing, Leo told me about you. You know she a lot.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
Talk to Titus on. Oh, there's a spit in it, wrecking life tobacco. Hawthorn bushes, that's it.
This is where you say your bed.
Broad-shouldered man points at you with a pick.
Detective,
Lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note, leaving it to you. First, we need to talk about your attitude. We need to talk about the man.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
It's raised your chin and gazed into the distance like a prince. need to talk about the man.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
Slaps his forehead.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
And
Starting from the right, boot size 44, blonde man, in his 30s, overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right, standard working boots, size 45 or 46, eldest in the room, probably mid-50s, smoker, quiet. Across at the other table, hobnailed working boots, size 43, gang tattoos, Mesk or Sarah Mauritian, in his late 30s, early 40s. He spent his youth in Villa Labos, a housing project in the Jamrock Quarter. There were incarcerations, hard to say what else. The ink is fading. And then, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46, the big dick, wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips, rugby cap, fingerless gloves, and numerous scars, a little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Um,
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
and the little
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy, boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
Nothing was absent. The old side.
Exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardy Boys are involved in the drug trade as well?
These bandits definitely. The entire union might be involved. Maybe he'd been all Martinez. Could have kept the drug trade secret. This would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Now is a good time to hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
Man hangs in the backyard. Did you do it? That's what I've connected you to the local drug trade.
Like hell you have.
It's back.
There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in precinct 41 kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grace?
Taps on his notebook and turns to you.
The thought forms in your head like a lightning strike branching in the sky.
Forget it. I never ran up to it. see. Do I want to back down at this point? If I try and pin it on him, then will he roll over? No, you do the honors. You've earned it.
Own up to what? Why don't you limp out of here, little detective, and keep your nose off my intersection?
There's only 7 of you. There's the 8 party boy.
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us, and we're all here.
So is
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Jesus.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl. Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so, too.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And
He points at the lieutenant.
you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
And hanged in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why there's a container belt around the dead man's neck? Why your blueprints all over the scene? Why there's a container belt around?
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yeah, why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
Okay.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
Uh-huh. I've got the perpetrator. So you just confess.
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
Murdered him just like that, no remorse. And when did this hanging incident occur? Why did you get him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary.
And he stepped out alive.
Repeated. Joe's club shut
What
like a
kind
boss.
of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Seminine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
You even know he was in special forces. What did he actually do wrong?
Because one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm RNA's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNA's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either. But he fucking did. Right there. Like
How's it
some
taste?
kind of animal.
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Okay, besides crime against karaoke, what did he actually do?
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wiped spittle from his
From
mouth.
rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation?
To kill us all if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Cracks his
Yeah,
knuckles.
he said it was his favorite joint now. Started to come in here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Denton is trying to make sense of this flood of
Yeah.
information.
This girl's on the mic, a beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming, "Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt?" Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle, doesn't even fall down.
Shakes his head in disbelief. The same girl who was sexually assaulted, raped, you said.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
Repeats like
There's
that.
something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
He did they rape them. This is a very serious allegation.
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
We know the victim.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
Lieutenant pretends to check his name.
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
Rips his chin, pretending to smile.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus.
Tennessee.
Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
How did
We
he get him?
hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
Didn't they teach you anything?
This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you
Need
know.
more. Did you malform him? We have there any reports of screams.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned. But this little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety,
It's bedtime
yes,
now.
but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
It's cracking under the pressure. Bedtime.
It's bedtime.
This one is sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of conversation as well. Definitely the weakest link in the chain.
A single sentence would wear him out. He can't take the length of the questioning. Keep it going long enough, and he'll crack.
Hey, big guy, you having trouble breathing there?
No.
Looks up, startled, his forehead shiny from sweat, a few coiled locks are peeking out under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
And it's the big guy burst out
Fuck
laughing.
off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
There's something you're not telling me.
And fuck you, too, copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Like what?